What about the sort of rise in isolationism and nativism you
Mm,
see in a lot of countries in the world? Buy local, the maple leaf signs up all over Canada.
mm.
How is this affecting trade?
So it's really interesting, and I think that if you look at supply chains in general, and trade has actually gotten longer over the past 7 years. So
Mhm.
there has been moves to move m- assembly and different machinery pieces back on shore or closer to the markets. But actually, a lot of the raw materials are still produced in the same markets that they were previously. So we're seeing more what I'd say a reshaping of trade, and I expect that if you look through a lot of the negotiations thus far, there are alliances kind of coming together. We've obviously seen corridors over the past 4 or 5 years, like the
Mhm.
ASEAN corridor, really growing, a lot of trade with the Middle East through to Asia. But actually, interestingly, and again, to the US corporates we talked to, they've actually said, I want to double down more on US consumers. And it's still the largest consumer market in the world.
Yes.
So that's been quite interesting that they still see growth and opportunity here. And as we speak to sort of US corporates in particular, 40% of their revenue is international. So that's a big portion, but actually it doesn't take a lot to ship some of it from a demand perspective back to the US.
Interesting. So they'll have to change what they make. It's obviously a different market.
Mm. Not necessarily changing what they make, but changing in terms of how they direct it too. So some of the products are ones that are universal, but a lot of it is also just about where they assemble and how they create that certainty. And some of that's less about even the tariffs. And we saw that after COVID. If you looked at other shipping disruptions, so we've seen some geopolitical and climate related effects that have harmed shipping routes.
Mhm.
So looking at finding that certainty